Good morning, people. We're making yogurt this morning. Now, before I get started, let me tell you, I found this recipe on YouTube on a channel from a lady named Phyllis Stokes, and I must say I enjoy her channel immensely. There's a lot to learn on there, so if you've got the YouTube and the time, just go search Phyllis Stokes. She's going through a really rough period right now, so love to her, but she's got some really cool stuff on there. Anyways, let's get started, and I'll show you what you need to do to make yogurt and how easy it really is. Did you see Liza? Just kind of, she's mad at me. Story about that later. Okay, so the first thing you need is a pot to heat your milk in. Then you need milk to heat up in your pot. All right, let me tell you a secret here. Get the cheapest milk on the shelf. I'm going to make 2 quarts. I've already got my jars cleaned with hot soapy water and rinsed with boiling water, and they're over here just being good. They don't necessarily need sterilized, but they do need to be clean. Do not use milk that says ultra pasteurized. Your yogurt's not going to set up the way you want it to, and you'll find it's a disappointing experience. So just get the cheapest milk. Vitamin D, pasteurized, homogenized, yes, but not ultra pasteurized. Look for your label, but it's going to be the cheapest whole milk on your shelf. Okay, then I use a little bit of dry powdered milk that I'll be adding into my yogurt. This is going to make it thicker and creamier. Don't ask me how, it's magic. Just trust the process. This is optional. You don't have to add the dry powder milk, but I do. And then you need a starter. And this is going to be my starter. Just a little cup of yogurt out of the dairy section in your supermarket. Now, there are going to be 5 key active bacteria cultures in the yogurt that you buy for a starter that you're going to have to make sure is in the starter for this to work. I'll list those in the comments below, but this has actually 7 starters. It's an amazing brand. If you're not in the Northwest, you don't have this, and maybe you should consider moving to the Northwest just to get this brand of dairy products, because damn. All right, and then you will need also a thermometer. This is one I got from Walmart. I think it costs like 12 bucks, and I use it for every damn thing. But you're going to need a thermometer just to track your temperature on your milk as you're heating it up and cooling it down. So, all right, here we go. We have the pot, thermometer, milk, starter. This is optional, but you're going to want to try it. Clean jars, and then get you a little freezer-safe tub, because you're going to pull back a little bit of yogurt to make your starter for your next batch. All in all, 2 quarts is going to call me, starting out, because this is, I'm buying a new starter this time. This is going to cost me about $5 in milk, yogurt, dry milk, to make 2 quarts of amazing, amazing yogurt. Let's get started. Okay, so pour your milk into your pot. This is step 1. I don't have a videographer, so bear with the awkwardness here. But what the heck, y'all are in my kitchen hanging out with me this morning. Okay, step 1. Turn on a little bit of heat here. You want it on kind of a medium heat, medium to low heat. You don't want to, whoops, hang on. You don't want to heat your milk up too fast. We are only bringing it up to 180 degrees. That's why you need your temperature or your thermometer. Holy smokes, I are a college graduate. Okay, this little thermometer I use for, look out, Liza. So let me tell you what happened to Liza today. We were going for a little walk, and over the years I've taught her the command to walk on. Shut up, Pearl. Like if there's a cat or squirrel in the yard, don't go chasing after it, just walk on. So she walks on, she does real good. And we were we were on the walk today, and she jerked around like she saw something. I said, walk on. And then she jerked around again. I said, what's the matter? And I saw she had a little wasp on her butt that was stinging her, so I had to slap her butt to get the wasp off, and she thought she was in trouble, and now she's moping around here, and I feel bad, and it's not the way the day was supposed to start. So, all right, I've just clipped my thermometer on, because, you know what, make do, right? Make do with what you got. So my thermometer's in the milk, and I'm going to gradually heat this up to 180 degrees, and I have it on medium heat. And you want to be pretty consistent with stirring this. You don't want the milk to scorch onto the bottom of your pot. That's going to ruin it. And you don't want to get it any higher than 180 degrees, or you're going to kill the active bacteria cultures in your starter. It's so easy to do as long as you just take your time at the beginning and I don't know what that is. I think it's a pepper flake. But as long as you take your time heating your milk up and allow it to cool down to the right temperature, that is it. It is not that hard at all. Now, just as a little side note, you can make yogurt in your Instapot, and I've done it once, and it worked fine. But I just prefer this method. So do you, boo, do you. There are so many different ways to make yogurt. There's all kinds of recipes on Pinterest. If you guys aren't addicted to Pinterest yet, you should be, because it makes your grandchildren think that you are amazingly wise and wonderful, which, you know, I am. So, all right. As you can see, we're heating this up to 63 degrees, and I'll be back in just a bit when we get there. Okay, we're just about to 180 degrees. We're up to 176 here. So when you're stirring this, you can use a little whisk if you wish, just to keep it gently stirred. This wooden spoon I don't even know what this is called. This used to be my grandmother's, and I grabbed it after she passed away, and I have used it probably as much as she did in her life, but it has been so used that it's worn down up here. But this, I don't know what I'd do without this thing. I use it to make my jellies and to stir sauces, and I think of her every time I grab it. So I hope nobody ever messes this thing up, because I would have to kill them and tell God they died. It would be terrible. So you just want to bring this up to 180 degrees, and we're almost there. We've got 2 degrees left to go. When you're purchasing your milk and your yogurt starter, be sure you're looking at the expiration date, because you want as fresh as you can get. The fresher the better. Okay, 180 degrees. Take that off. I don't want this to heat up anymore. And now we're going to let this cool down to between 110 and 115 degrees. You can set your pan of milk into a cool water bath to cool it down faster, and I've done that when I'm pressed for time. It's tricky though, because you don't want this temperature to go below 110 degrees. So if you got the time, just pull it off the heat, set it to the side, and we'll be back when it's down between 110 and 115. Okay, I'm down to 111 degrees, so let's get this in. I'm going to first stir in my powdered milk. I've got 1.5 cups, and again, this is for 8 cups of milk, or half a gallon. If you only want to make a quart, just half the recipe. Or if you want to make more, double it. It's up to you, but just stick to the same proportions and you'll be fine. So let me gently stir that powdered milk in here. And again, the powdered milk is going to make it a thicker, creamier yogurt, almost like a Greek yogurt. It just, without having to strain it at the end. So let that dissolve in there. Make sure you get that all dissolved. And I can go ahead and take this out for now. And then 1 cup of yogurt starter. So since these are little 1/2 cup portions, I'm going to add 2 in. like this. Now, about that wooden spoon, if you guys are worried that I'm going to contaminate and poison my family by using a wooden spoon, stirring hot milk, I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. I've done this over and over and over again using the same equipment, and nobody's died yet. So do what you want in your kitchen. Use the utensils you're comfortable with. If you feel better using this silicone or a stainless steel whisking spoon, do that. But I'm fine. So I don't need any comments about the using the wooden spoon, please. And thank you very much. Okay, so my yogurt has been stirred in there. Now we're ready to set it and let it incubate. Alrighty, let me get my let me find my, there it is, it was already here. Okay, so I'm just going to take my jar here and I'm going to fill my jars pretty full, not all the way. You don't want it spilling over. I hope you guys can see this. I have no idea what the camera's picking up or not. And again, I don't sterilize my jars. I just wash them really good with hot soapy water, rinse them off with boiling water, and they're good. Again, nobody's died. And it's yogurt, you guys. It's yogurt. And we're not canning this. We're not going to be preserving it for a long time, food storage. And as you might be able to see that there's still some little chunks of my starter yogurt. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to make my starter for the next batch. So the next time I make yogurt, I'll pull this out of the freezer and let it thaw out either in the refrigerator overnight, or I'll just maybe set it on the counter for a while in the morning. And it'll be fine. Again, it's yogurt. We're not doing brain surgery here. Okay, so I don't think that lid goes to that jar. We'll fix that here in a minute. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is, let me wipe this jar off a bit. I'm going to go ahead and set the lids on here, but not super tight. And I have jars all over because I can. And these you can buy at Walmart. You can buy these little plastic mason jar lids at Walmart, and you don't have to reuse them over and over. You can reuse them over and over again. So just lightly, loosely put that on there. Same thing with this guy. And now we're ready to incubate the yogurt. Okay, let's talk about the incubation of your yogurt. This can be done 1,000 ways. I have seen people do it by taking their yogurt outside on a nice warm day and putting just a box over it and leaving it until it's yogurt-fied. I, in the past, have found where my refrigerator throws the heat off, there's going to be an area on the top of your refrigerator that's warmer than the rest. I've set it up there and covered it up and left it for all day, and it's turned into yogurt. But this is a really good kind of a foolproof way if you're a little nervous about it. So what I've got here, and I don't know that I can show you here, but I put a towel on my counter and then a heating pad on top of the towel. Then I have this little basting rack on top of it, and then this little kitchen towel on top of it. So I put my 2 jars of yogurt on it and my starter, and then I've taken my thermometer probe and I'm just going to prop it up in here. There's no precise way, just to kind of help monitor the temperature. And again, this is really good if you're nervous about it, your first time making it, and you just want to be able to have feel like you have a little bit of better control on it. So your temperature for your incubation needs to be between 98 and 105 in that area. So I'm just going to turn my little heat pad on for a bit just to keep it warmed up. And then I'm going to take a clean towel and I'm just going to throw it over my yogurt jars just so I can keep that heat in there, like so. And I've got my probe is in there, and I'll just set my thermometer up top here, and I will throughout the day monitor my temperature. Now I've got the heat pad up on high, so I'm going to get this air up to 99 degrees. And then as I walk by here, I'll just give it a little check through the day and make sure that the temperature is maintaining about the right degrees, and it'll be fine. Now you want to incubate your yogurt for no less than 8 hours and no more than 12 hours. You should have yogurt in 8 hours. I've never had to wait that long as 12 hours. And I'll be back later this evening and I'll show you what it looks like and how you do it. But in the meantime, don't fiddle with your stuff. Just leave it. You're going to be tempted to check on it. You're going to be tempted to take the bottle, you know, and tip it to see if it's thickening. Just leave it alone. If you have checked, if you've done the process correctly up until here, not gotten your milk over 180 degrees and added those starters before it hit under 110 degrees, you will have yogurt. So we'll be back tonight and we'll have yogurt. Okay, it's been 8 hours and when I've walked through the kitchen, I've just taken a glance over at my thermometer. We've had a relatively oddly cool day here. It never got over 75 and I've had the windows open so the kitchen's a little cooler than it normally would be. So I had to turn my heating pad on for a little while and just to keep the heat up again. You want to keep it like from 98 to 105, right in there. If it goes down to 95, 97, you haven't messed it up. But you just want to keep it nice and warm underneath these towels. In the winter time, I'll actually put like 2 towels over here just to keep it extra warm in here. And let's see what we got. Okay, so I haven't messed with it. I haven't checked it. I've just left it alone. And let's see what we have. Again, I'm trying to see, make sure you guys can see. All right, so opening up the lid. Can you guys see? We got yogurt. We've got yogurt. Hang on, let me get a spoon. Okay, now this is why I like putting that dry powdered milk in, is because it gives you a very creamy yogurt. Oops, you can't see, dang it. Okay, I've got yogurt and it tastes just amazing. It really does. And little dude, the reason why I make so much at one time is because little dude likes yogurt in the mornings. Rather than put milk on his cereal and granola, he will put yogurt with it. He likes it that way. He likes fruit and yogurt. I'll use this as a substitution for sour cream. If I'm cooking, it's a little bit more of a healthier option. If I'm baking something that needs sour cream in it, I'll put it, but this will last, and this will last a good long while. This will probably keep 2-3 weeks in the fridge. So you can share it. You can give it a little bit to your mom if she likes yogurt. You can let your friends try it and see what they think. And again, here's my yogurt starter that I poured into this dish out of what I made, and that's more than enough. But see, I got yogurt, and I'll just I'll let this cool out
here in the room temperature for just a few minutes. Just let it cool down. It's not hot by any means, but I don't want a chance putting my too warm yogurt in the cold refrigerator. But I'll let this cool off. I'll pop that in the freezer just the way it is. And then these guys go in the fridge, and then we can have smoothies. We can have fruit. We can just have yogurt on your own if you want. Now, that's just that simple. It's just that simple. And don't be afraid to try it. It's a cheap process. It's cheap enough. If you screws up, you screw up. But let me tell you something. Since I've been making this, I have never once had it not work out. The key is, again, just to recap, is to make sure that you have the right starter, the cheapest milk, that you don't heat your milk up over 180 degrees, and then you don't let it dip down below 110 before you add your starter and your powdered milk, if that's what you're going to add. So there you go. Milk, yogurt. Now, one thing, if your yogurt, say like you don't put the powdered milk in, and you make your yogurt and it seems too thin for your taste, you can strain this yogurt through, get a colander and some clean muslin, or I wouldn't use cheesecloth, but maybe if you've got a very clean, like t-shirt material, an old t-shirt that your husband won't get rid of, go get it, tear it, wash it up, tear it up, and you can strain some of the whey out of the yogurt to make it thicker. I've never had to do that though, because I add the powdered milk. So just save a t-shirt and save a step. So anyways, bam, there you go, yogurt. I hope you guys thought this was fun and not too boring and drug out. And thanks for just hanging out in my kitchen with me today. Bye.